Hello guys, how are you doing today? Today I have a BMW E46 with M54 engine, and I'm gonna show you pretty much like the pathway for the intake manifold system, which is like got the EVAP system not shown the CCCV not considered. Like most of the time you will have like a check engine light, and pretty much you have a fault for the secondary air pump, which is over here. So most of the time it is not the secondary air pump, because the secondary air pump is working perfectly. It's because on the like a vacuum line over here, the check valve over here, it pretty much like I got a break. Most of the time this vacuum control valve probably like start working. It's a electronic part over here, and once you have this stop working, it's gonna give you a foot for the secondary air pump, which is not the secondary air pump. When you get this fault, that's you have the air pump valve right here. You have the secondary air pump that's running like electronically. Most of the time, cold in the morning when you start the car, you're gonna hear like the secondary air pump is pretty much running. After that, like you have this air pump valve. The air pump valve is on the side of the cylinder head on the passenger side. So at this point, that's a intake manifold. Over here, that's a DISA valve. And the DISA valve, if you go from the secondary air pump, you go to the air valve. From the air valve, go into the vacuum control valve. That's the electronic part. Sometimes it's not working. Sometimes too, there's a break on the vacuum line. After like a long time, the vacuum line could be crystallized and break. At this time, you're gonna give you a foot for the secondary air pump. What you have to do when you have a fault for the secondary air pump and your air pump is working fine, you need to follow this vacuum line back. This thing is sitting like the vacuum control valve is sitting like behind the intake manifold. You have to lean on the top of the engine in order to get this valve behind the intake manifold. It's not easy, like I know to see. So, and it also, he has this check valve. It could be like sometimes so the vacuum like crystallize on this both end. It could break, give you the same fault, and they send at this vacuum line from the check return valve attached to the intake manifold. Over here is just a cap. It's just a cap. It's like a blocking like a outlet from the intake manifold, and this is a DISA valve on the top of the throttle body. Right here, that's where the throttle body is bolted to. The throttle body from the air mass meter going to the intake tube. From this intake tube, that's attached your throttle body, that's going there. So from there, you have another vacuum line came from over here going to the vacuum tank, gonna bolt it next to the disc tube. After that, from the intake tube, and then there's the vacuum line going to the fuel filter. So that's pretty much showing you like the whole system for the intake manifold if you have like E46 with M54 engine with the secondary air pump. At this point, you have to be careful when you have a fault to diagnose it, to make sure all this vacuum line that's going to the system doesn't have any issue with breaking that causing the secondary air pump to pretty much to function like I know like I'm wrong. So I guess that's all for today. So this is the good path, and just in case also you have a car which is like the vacuum line break, you don't know how to run the hoses, and then you could the vacuum hoses, you could check the this like a schematic. So you will see, so from the secondary air pump to the air pump valve, from the air pump valve, this line going to the inlet from the vacuum control valve. which is like electronic parts. You got the electronic connector going to it, and from the control valve, that line going to the check valve, from the check valve going to the intake manifold right there. And then that's where the vacuum tank wheel is right there. That's another. There's like a 3 adapter to the going to the intake manifold. There's one, the first one gonna be like the check valve, the second one is the cap, and the third one will be the vacuum reservoir, which is gonna bolt next to the disc tube. I think like pretty much that's all for today. If you have any question, don't hesitate like to send it to me. I will be happy to answer you. Thank you. I will see you another day. Bye bye.